Hello everyone, this is Fenestrain. In this video, I want to tell you the reasons why I'm pulling for C2 Eula. But before that, let me explain Eula's talents first. So her elemental skill, Ice Tide Vortex. There are two versions, which is press and hold. So when you press it, it deals cryo damage and it gives you a stack of Grim Heart that stacks up to 2 times. And these stacks can only be gained every 0.3 seconds. Now the Grim Heart gives her resistance to interruption and some defense. So there are a total of 4 things that is happening while you use the hold mode of Ice Tide Vortex. It's a bit complicated, so I will give you a TLDR version of it. First, it deals cryo damage, it slashes. It decreases physical and cryo resistance on enemies. It deals cryo damage per Grimheart, which is Ice Whirl brand. And finally, it deals 50% base damage of Lightfall swords. Next is Glacial Illumination, which is her elemental burst. Again, I will make a TLDR version of it. Glacial Illumination basically does 2 things. First one, it deals cryo damage, it slashes. And the second one, it creates Lightfall Sword, which is a physical damage. The Lightfall Sword has increased damage per stacks, and it explodes after a certain time. You can accumulate the stacks by doing normal attacks, elemental skill, and elemental burst. Let's talk about the passive talents. First, Ascension talent, Roiling Rhyme. When you have 2 stacks of Grimheart and you use your elemental skill hold mode, it spawns a Lightfall Sword, which is the physical part of the elemental burst, but it only deals 50% of the base damage. Her Ascension 4 talent, Wellspring of Warlust. When Eula deals normal attack and it crits, it decreases the elemental skill cooldown by 0.3 seconds, can only happen once every 0.1 seconds. Her Constellation 1 basically gives her extra 30% physical damage when the Grimheart stacks are consumed. Her Constellation 2 makes her elemental skills hold mode to 4 seconds, which was previously 10 seconds. Her Constellation 3 is just level upgrade on the elemental burst. Her Constellation 4 is dealing extra 25% damage on Lightfall swords, which is the physical damage part of her elemental burst. But that also increased the Lightfall swords from the hold mode. Her Constellation 5 increases the level of elemental skill by 3. Her Constellation 6 will make elemental burst stronger. The Lightfall sword, which is capped at 30 stacks of energy, previously start at 0 stacks, will now start at 5 stacks, and additionally normal attacks, elemental skills, and elemental burst have 50% chance to grant the Lightfall sword an additional stack of energy. So that is why I think C1 is definitely a valuable constellation. C2 is also a valuable constellation. C3 and C5 gives her levels on the talents, which is also valuable, but C4 and C6 is very conditional. On her C4, you need the enemy to be less than 50% HP, and the increased damage is only on Lightfall swords. While the C6, you have to be doing elemental burst for it to be valuable. If not, it's just useless. So here it is, her C2 value. First of all, it increases DPS because of the spammable elemental skills. Secondly, the convenience on buff and debuff uptime due to the decrease in cooldown on her hold mode. And finally, you can spam her elemental skills, which gives more versatility, and I think it's more fun, in my personal opinion. So now let's discuss her increased damage for her C2. This is how her normal combo will look like. You do twice press elemental skill and then a single elemental skill hold. You want 2 stacks of Grimheart and then you do a hold version of it. That's basically the combo. But keep in mind that the Ascension 4 talent might make elemental skill cooldown decrease a bit, maybe 2 or 3 seconds for the press cooldown. And the hold cooldown, I'm not sure how fast her normal attacks will be, so I'll leave that until her release. Now this is the comparison between C0 and C2. You can see that C0, when you do 2 combos, at C2 you can do 3 combos. So it's essentially around 30% increase in damage, including cryo damage and physical damage. As for my second point, which is convenience on buff and debuff uptime, you take a look at this illustration, you will see that there is a 4 seconds downtime for the debuff on enemies. At C2, there is no downtime at all. Even more so if you are considering using Pale Flame set, since the buff is only 7 seconds, you will have a 3 seconds downtime if you are not considering the Ascension level 4 talent, which I personally don't like to rely on. And even if you do rely on the talent, the timing will still be very tight. For the final point, it makes her more versatile and more fun. But I think that's a bit of subjective and I still need to test her out a bit first. I think she can be a hybrid DPS when looking at how fast her elemental skill can be spammed. So you can use attack percent goblet at C2 when you have the Song of Broken Pines because of the high base attack, like 741. So in my opinion, C2 Eula is more valuable than getting her personal weapon, which is the Song of Broken Pines. I think instead of going like C0 Eula with her R1 Song of Broken Pines, I think you should at least get C1 Eula instead of the weapon, especially if you have Scarlet Pride already or Wolf's Gravestone, and if possible you should just go for C2 as well, just because of the versatility and the increased damage. Then again, please don't overspend yourself just to get her Constellations, because on C0 itself, I think Eula is still a solid DPS unit just looking at her multipliers. I will be pulling her C2. I've prepared all the Primo Gems for at least 3 Art Pity, which is 270 Intertwined Fates. I'll be pulling her when she comes out later on my stream, so you can come and watch my stream if you are interested. I'll be doing C0, C1 and C2 testings too after I got her, so please stay tuned. If you have any questions or if you have anything you want to discuss with me, please don't hesitate to leave a comment down below. If you like this video also, please don't forget to press like button. That is all from me. Thanks for watching.